Section 8 of the Penny Magazine for the Society of the Diffusion of Useful Knowledge, Issue 3. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Read by Beeswax Candle. The Penny Magazine of the Society for the Diffusion of Useful Knowledge, Issue 3, by Charles Knight. The Library. My library was dukedom large enough. Prospero in The Tempest. The cheapest of all enjoyments by far is that which is derived from books. We hold a library, therefore, to be among the fittest furniture of even the poorest man's cottage. A most important and cheering consideration in reference to this sort of furniture is, that the more the demand for books shall grow and extend itself, the cheaper they are sure to be sold. The price even of many new books, owing to the large sale upon which the publisher can now count by the increase of readers, is now so low that for a few pounds, expended in the course of as many years, at the easy rate of a shilling or two at a time, almost as many volumes may be purchased, full of the most instructive and interesting information, as a labouring man and his family have, in general, leisure to read and study. Let but the small sum of £1 annually be expended in this way by a working man, and what a respectable stock of books might be collected in 20 years, gradually increasing as his family grew up. If the purchases were judiciously made, probably between 100 and 200 of the most useful volumes in the language might be secured for this money. Many of them, indeed, would be second-hand copies, but if they were in good condition, they would be no worse for that. Then, once purchased, this library would remain a valuable property forever. Books, however much used, if they be only used properly, should never wear out. There are many volumes in the great public libraries of this and other countries which have been in use for centuries, and yet are in as good condition as when they came from the press. It is only careless readers that destroy or injure books in using them. In many situations, a much more ample command of books may be obtained by the poorer classes for even much less than this cost, by a number of them joining together to maintain a common library. This is an advantage which books have over other articles of furniture. The same library might serve many families at the same time nearly as well as it could serve any one of them exclusively. The quantity of chairs and tables and other household goods which is required for the use of one family cannot accommodate more than one. These articles are in constant requisition. Their possessor cannot admit his neighbours to share them with him. But the collection of books, which we have supposed to be formed in the course of 20 years at a cost of as many pounds, might be made to dispense its benefits among 20 families, without an individual belonging to any one of them being deprived of any part of the advantage which he would have enjoyed if he had been the only person by whom the books could be read. When so many families, then, can be found in the same place, disposed to join their contributions for this purpose, the complete command of such a collection by all of them is obtained at a very small cost to each. Instead of £1 a year, it is only a shilling. Or, if they choose to pay annually £1 each, they have each of them access to 20 times more books in consequence of their union than they could have obtained the use of separately by the same expenditure. They will probably find it best to mix these two advantages, to subscribe, say, a fourth part of £1 or 5 shillings, which will still procure them 5 times as much reading as the expenditure of the whole £1 by each of them separately would have procured. Such are the advantages of union here as in everything else. But a farther improvement on popular libraries has been lately recommended and put in practice in some parts of the country, and chiefly in Scotland, by the exertions of Mr. Brown of Haddington. If a poor man were every year or every quarter to exchange his tables and chairs and bedsteads for others of about the same value, he would make nothing of the operation, except a great deal of trouble and waste of time. The articles which he received would not answer to his purpose better than those which he parted with. He would not derive any more accommodation from the strange furniture than he might have done from that to which he had been used. But here again, books have an advantage peculiar to themselves. When you have read through one collection, another collection, consisting of different works, although intrinsically of no greater value, has yet a much greater value to you. The information which the new books communicate forms a positive addition to whatever knowledge your mind has already stored up. Hence the idea of itinerating or travelling libraries. Let us suppose that half a dozen contiguous villages in a particular district have each its small library, provided in the manner already pointed out by the united subscriptions of the inhabitants. If an arrangement be made that these 6 libraries shall consist of different works, and that the several collections, instead of remaining stationary, shall move about from one village to another, the body of readers in each village will obtain the use of 6 libraries at the cost of 1. This principle may be applied, of course, either to enlarge the command of reading, or to diminish the cost, or to produce partly the one effect and partly the other. It would probably be found the best plan to have a proportion of each collection stationary, there being certain books of general usefulness, or in great request, which it would be desirable to have everywhere always at hand. But there is one great difficulty which both individuals and associations frequently feel in purchasing books. They are at a loss to know what books it is best for them to procure, or, if they are anxious to procure a particular work, they do not know which is the edition that is likely, from its price or other recommendations, best to suit them. We propose, in a series of short notices under our present title, to lay before our readers, from time to time, such information as may assist them in the task of selection, in reference both to old and to new books. Without professing to go over the different departments of literature in any regular order, but rather seeking to give variety to our pages, and at the same time to meet the views of different readers, by passing from one subject to another, we shall from time to time give accounts of works which may in our opinion deserve the attention either of managers of popular libraries or of individual buyers of books, or which, although it might not be advisable to purchase them, deserve in whole or in particular parts to be consulted by those who may have the opportunity. We shall in this way gradually provide those who may preserve our paper with a body of directions, embracing all the most important matters which are necessary to be known for the right furnishing of a library for the use of common readers. Of course, we do not mean to direct our attention to any works, except such as every man decently educated for the business of ordinary life may aspire to become acquainted with. With what is more peculiarly called learning, we have here nothing to do. But all works belonging to what may be called popular science and literature will come within our plan, whether they treat of natural history, so much of natural philosophy as may be understood without technical mathematics, moral philosophy, criticism, history, antiquities, geography, voyages and travels, or any other subject of a similar nature. Nor shall we omit to mention such of the productions of our great poets and writers of fiction as may most fitly make part of a popular library. Our aim shall be in every case to describe the work, not by any vague general criticism, but by a distinct account of what it actually contains, and especially of what it contains which is not to be found in other works on the same subject. Keeping buyers also, as well as our readers in view, we shall always be careful to notice both the price at which the book may be purchased and the edition which it is best to procure. One edition of a book sometimes differs as much in value from another, or is, in truth, although bearing the same title, as much another book as if it had really been so designated. Of two editions, accordingly, one is often very valuable, while another is nearly worthless. We believe uninformed purchasers of books are very often cheated by having bad editions sold to them for the same money for which the best editions might have been procured. Notices of this kind, as we have said, will form a useful guide both to book societies and also to individuals who may have the desire and means of furnishing themselves with a small library. The means, indeed, to effect this object will seldom be wanting where the desire is felt. We hope to see the day when even the poorest man's cottage will not be thought to be becomingly furnished without having a few shelves in one of its apartments filled with provision for the mind. This, indeed, is sure to take place as soon as the working classes shall have become generally educated. Books will then be deemed a necessary of life, or at least as indispensable as anything else whatever, after food, shelter, and clothing. End of section 8.